Hey everybody, welcome back to another 10-minute Marvel video. I'm Petter, and today we're continuing on our kind of Marvel reset plan. So, just a quick recap. I did a first video yesterday, and if you want to kind of hear the in-depth dive into the reset versus reboot, the reset is kind of how Kevin Feige referred to it. This idea of resetting some characters and some storylines. Yesterday's video, I talked about kind of S.H.I.E.L.D., Hydra, and Steve Rogers, and how there could be a reset there and what that might look like. Today, I want to talk about T'Challa. Now, T'Challa doesn't have to be the Black Panther in this case, though I suspect when T'Challa gets reset, if they reset T'Challa, that they may consider him being the Black Panther again. But he can also just be the new ruler of Wakanda. So just kind of the history, if you're not familiar with it, though I think most people are, Chadwick Boseman was playing T'Challa, the Black Panther. Unfortunately, he had cancer, passed away. So in Black Panther Wakanda Forever, they do a kind of nice story and pay respect to that character. However, Black Panther is such an iconic and I think important character for the wide audience of the MCU that it doesn't make sense to me to keep that character set aside. Now, they could do something like say, well, we have Kid T'Challa. We're going to age up that T'Challa in some way during Secret Wars, and that's going to be our new Black Panther, our new T'Challa going forward. I don't love that maybe as much as purely recasting that role at this point. I think there are a ton of phenomenal actors who could take on that challenge and that role, and especially now since they have respectfully handled Chadwick Boseman's passing, I don't think there's not going to be pushback. I'm not sure that there would have been a ton in the first place, but I do think honoring the legacy of Chadwick Boseman was a very solid choice and call. So how might you go about doing this reset of T'Challa? And this is probably actually going to have two different characters, because I think there's a couple different characters who have a similar pathway to this. I think that this could be a nice kind of emotional moment for Shuri to basically be like, I have lost everything. In the events of Secret Wars and Doomsday, Earth 616 could be destroyed. She could lose many people from Wakanda. There could be basically nobody moving forward into Secret Wars except her, kind of like we saw with Thor and the Asgardians. So it could be a situation where Shuri says, I've done everything I could, and as much as I have taken on the role of the Black Panther, as she does in the comics, I want to set it aside. I want to get back to doing what I love to do. Franklin, can you please reset that moment? Allow me to find a cure, to have found a cure for the disease that T'Challa had, or make it so that he didn't get the disease in the first place. And because of that, obviously, you're going to have a change in history. You're going to have a change in how things went forward to get to the point of Secret Wars. But I think that would be one way to handle it. Another way would just simply be when Franklin, and I'm always basing this off of the idea that Franklin is resetting or creating the new universe that we're going to be in. He's just not wiping out everything that has happened previously. So I think it could be a situation where it's a multiversal one that comes in as well. It could be Shuri and multiversal T'Challa. Shuri being like, I have my brother again. I know that he wasn't from the same universe as me, but can you place him in our universe? The other character that I want to talk about, because it's a similar thing in that the character is dead. And I'm skipping one of the characters, so I'll talk about that at the end here, who I don't know that needs to have it be reset. But the one I'm talking about who I think should be is Iron Man, is Tony Stark. And this one, as compared to T'Challa, I think you could make an argument for let's just undo that moment and change that moment in time, and so he goes forward. And then you could have it be kind of the same history of that character. So that one makes sense that way, but Iron Man, Tony Stark, I think it makes more sense to pull in from another universe. So it is resetting the character story and arc, but it allows that character to have some history, and it allows RDJ's portrayal of Tony Stark and the sacrifice of Tony Stark at the end of Endgame not to be wiped out. That still happens, but now everybody who's created into this universe knows that there's a new Tony Stark, knows that things are different and have changed. And I think that one feels a little bit better that way because of just the impact of that character on the whole Infinity Saga. Like, that is very much a Tony Stark focused saga that we really see wrapped up in Spider-Man Far From Home. But as I mentioned, there is a third character who has passed away, and that is Nat. So are we going to get a new Black Widow? And this one, I actually think I'm cool with them not recasting and resetting that character. Because I think if you want to create something similar to what you have with the Black Widow, you have Yelena be the White Widow. And just continue with Florence Pugh going forward, because Florence Pugh has done a great job in that role. She was truly a star in Thunderbolts and was a fun character in the Black Widow movie and has had some good moments in other projects as well. So I think that you can run with Florence Pugh kind of taking on that role and providing a little bit of a different feel for that character. I'm not opposed to the idea of bringing back Black Widow, and I'm not opposed to the idea of ScarJo coming back, especially in Secret Wars. I think there could be a phenomenal scene in Secret Wars where you have these different worlds that have collided together, that Doom has brought together, and you have Hawkeye from this world interact with Nat from another world, and in both their worlds, or in that other world, it was Hawkeye who did the same actions Nat did in this world. Hawkeye sacrificed himself intentionally to save Nat. And that, I think, could be really interestingly well done, and it would be such a heartfelt scene. It would be that moment, potentially even with Hulk as well, to kind of say goodbye to that character. Because, I mean, it is such a good tragedy, but it could be a chance to kind of say goodbye to that character and really say, have her even say, if Hawkeye offers, like, you could join our universe, have her say, you already have the widow you need. You already have Yelena. I'm a Black Widow for another universe, I'll go there. But you already have what you need. So there we go. 3 different characters. Whether I think they should be reset or not, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. And if you enjoy this content, please give the video a thumbs up. I'm going to keep on doing some more of these. Should this character or story be reset? We have a few more ideas that we talked about on the 10-Minute Marvel podcast. Well, we didn't do such a deep dive into potentially how it could work. Always, we were more discussing whether or not they should be. You can hear that conversation on the podcast, the one that came out on Sunday this week. You can find the podcast here on YouTube. Click onto the channel, subscribe, and click that notification bell if you haven't already. We appreciate everybody who has, and appreciate everybody who's checking out the videos. And then click on the podcast tab. Or you can search for 10-Minute Marvel wherever you get your friendly neighborhood podcasts from. But with that, we will see you next time.